Hey, how you doing?
All right, good.
I'm navigating my way around. One person was like, "What's that feeling?" I was like, "Man, no, it's all man. Relax." I made it.
Glad you
How you
made
doing?
it. Okay, good. We had an event today.
Oh, it did?
Yeah,
We're having one now.
we just finished it right now. So,
That's it.
yeah, you can we usually don't have like a lot. Usually no more than 10. That event, I don't know, some of them will work. So, it's that like some of them had to work during that event, and so I don't know if that wore them out. Like a whole thing.
Cool. Do you have like a calendar or something like that? That I can get maybe?
It's just every 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Every 2 weeks, same time, same place here. And every other alternative week is another meeting called handbook.
Okay.
And so I think it's like a representative from each club on that meeting.
Oh, I see.
Body. So
What I usually do, how much time I have left?
for an hour.
Gotta just be talking. I've done this for elementary school. So it's not partisan. You can't ask me about party doesn't play. But what I usually do is if they allow me to go past the 10, I have everybody in the tent just have spirit. Oh yeah, it's one place to go. First, I would say around. Only one. Right. That's what it would be. One would be for the front. So I would have to do as well. Actually, I'll have to get a box. You won't get to see. Then I would have to put the name in. Hold on. And I'd say, okay, go to vote. Get a volunteer. Rather than you have no idea what's in this box. You know you're going to go for a box. And you'd be surprised how many people vote for this.
Really?
And what I do is I put something stupid in there, like some torn paper, shoe, I'll tell you I got stupid, whatever. So, and then the high school kids really get college kids. They'll say, wow, so what you're trying to say is, you shouldn't just vote based on what you think something might give you, what they're going to do for you. It's better to vote for the sure thing you never to know about doing exactly what it is. I say, well, what would you do beforehand? It's going to happen to you. Where would you go? Google, find George Washington, and find Will Smith. And Will Smith's probably the person that's in office right now, the local government.
Right.
You can't find one John Will Smith, but George Washington's all over the place. First president. And so everyone had to just Google it more than. And then they started to understand now because one time I did peanut M&Ms with all kids, children's bodies. I gave all peanut M&Ms to everybody. Drugs says, I'm a murder M&M. I'm taking it. Oh, happy. Yeah, that's no scary. But I want you to understand that that's not what you vote. You vote for something that you don't know about. Regardless, if they win now, that's good. Right? So do the research, find out more for the vote. Because you get this, you know what it is. It's something like that, or it's holy. And I wish I knew what that was. And what if you wanted to do knew everyone was going to get both out. What it was, we want everyone to get one. No campaign, that. But that's the whole elections process right there. Believe it or not, all this exercise. Everybody in the show. 400,000 people in the audience should don't understand. So, actually, the group who actually did represent everything. They're making this just for everybody because they signed up. And the people that didn't show, not how I, they want to how they do it, how the Bible goes on. That's a whole moment. But when I hand this stuff out, I don't want this. That kid's throwing it back at me. Really crazy stuff is happening. They did it. You do that here. It's a simple exercise, because it goes a long way. Tied into my app because we all want better candidates. We all want better information. That's what we're providing. Three-way system check-in prejudice action on it, as well as voter education themselves, where you step without it, let's see it, things like that. Where you go, the bridges that. Whatever it is, it's not like trying to say something, trying to do it. But in there, and I'm trying to put a part in there for this discussion. Have real place to handle it. I mean, discussion. Judge candidates to this kind of condition. All of us really just trying to make sure that we have a safe place to go. That's my spiel. I'm good.
Sounds good.
That's what I do.
At the very least, we can get you on recording.
Okay.
Now we can put it on our YouTube page. Do it on Zoom now.
I got a t-shirt. We'd like to have that many.
You got some t-shirts. All right. Hey, what's going on? Our guest speaker.
How you doing?
That's what you can do.
Oh, great.
Sorry, I'll do it.
It's all good. First introduction.
The water.
The vice president, who's president?
Yeah, she's coming.
She's coming.
She's gonna come?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if she was busy or not.
What's our next letter?
Yeah, she gets here.
Perfect. See if I can talk some people.
All right.
We thought it was pretty great.
Spring break?
Pretty exciting.
Just relax.
Around the beach a little bit.
You found her?
Hello there.
Yeah.
Gino, the president. Nice to meet you.
Here's the camera thing. Yeah, so you. This is the microphone. Alright, so you. I can rotate it. This microphone could be in. Yeah, that's better over there.
can come as many times as needed to as well, because I try to do different things at times, but
Okay.
I'm going to Nova Southeastern next week. I have Broward County that same week.
We can try again next month.
Sure.
You know, for sure. You know, but at the very least, we got you on recording, you know,
Perfect.
and that way word is spread.
Like I'm bearing gifts to y'all, so you didn't know I didn't have some things for you. I didn't know how many would come. I did have some things, but we're gonna do a little crowd participation. So I'm gonna do some things and kind of give you a message at the same time.
It's frozen. No, it's just like while I'm moving around.
Oh, that's cool.
So instead of everybody seeing what I'm doing, like while I'm setting up, I just set this up, freeze it, and then I can move around and check my email.
How many do we have in college?
15,000? Yeah.
Just one branch.
I know. Is it total, or is it just campus? I thought it was close to 30,000.
How many other
College.
branches?
Yeah, this campus is 15,000.
Would you have this set up in the student government at other campuses as well?
That we do, but they're different student governments with different people.
So would I be able to do those as well?
Yeah, for sure. I could probably forward you. I can, or I could just attach you to an email with the other advisors. Letting them know who you are and what you do.
I'm just really trying to make sure that a lot of times people don't do what I'm doing. They have process says editorializing, and that's what news channels do. If we can sift through that a little bit more and find out a way to get that out to the public a little bit better, we've been better off. It's nonpartisan, non-biased. It's been a little while. But this is me as a startup. I have to lie. Because there's so many laws and different things I have no idea how to deal with. And I'd rather not. So it's like the head coach of the football team, he doesn't know. He has to hire experts in those fields. That's what I got experts around me. I know what enough. It's the stuff. I have a degree in sociology, but my major was social psych, master's social psych. I ended up being a family therapist and counseling, substance abuse counseling, and then I actually ended up teaching. So, let me go ahead and get started because I could talk forever. So, let me go get started.
Okay.
Is my head going to be too big in this thing?
No, it's not gonna be too big. Let me do this. How's it?
How you doing? Welcome. Like I own the place. Welcome to my domain.
Of course. So, sees this. I check 1, 2, and 2. Okay.
Check.
You see him. Okay. I'm gonna do something here tonight. See my screen. There we go.
Okay.
Okay. So,
You want to start it?
yeah, I'm gonna start. I have to say a couple things and then I'll bring it all to you. So, all right. So, yeah, it's 2:12 and we're gonna start this meeting at 2:12. First thing we do is we do pledge of allegiance. So all rise. Usually the flag is right here, but. Oh, it's nice. Oh, it's behind the thing. It's great. Oh, it's right there. I pledge allegiance to the flag, individual of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, indivisible, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
We'll record that.
Good job, good, yeah. We're gonna edit that part out. Amen.
Hallelujah.
So, before, we start, before we start, I usually have call the meeting to order, but we usually have the approval of the minutes. And, this is the minutes, just so you guys know. This is basically what we talked about last meeting. And, the whole point of this is to catch everybody up. So back in the day, before there was internet, somebody would take minutes from a previous meeting, and then the next following meeting, they would show this minute to sort of catch everybody up, and everybody agreed, okay, this is where we left off. So there's no disagreement, if I'm trying to sneak a topic in or something, So, do we all agree that these are the minutes? May I have a?
Vice President approve.
All right, may I have a second?
Second.
A second, all right, thank you. So that's the minutes, and I always want to practice it because that's what SGA does. And then here's the agenda. This is what we're going to be talking about today. With the agenda, I have a little bit of I wanted to share a quote with you guys, because that's what we usually did. These are all the bulletin points. I'm going to go over all the old business, new business, and as well as our guest speaker. So, before, can I have an approval of the agenda? Deborah, the president approves. May I have a second?
A second.
All right, second. Thank you, Tomas. Thank you. We'll set that. So, moving on. With the quote, we usually always had a quote, and so this quote that I wanted to share with you guys is: the greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. So, what does that mean to you guys? What do you think he's saying there? What did he mean by that?
Well, it's funny because last week one of my friends was telling me like, sometimes we have pressure from people, from outside people, from our parents, from our like, they have so much pressure for you to succeed. They have so much expectations, and then one of the person who was there responded, well, doesn't matter how many times you're gonna fall, and if you like that pressure gets to you and you fall, that's okay, because that's how many times you're gonna get up, continue. So that part of being able to get up, continue and keep pushing and just follow your dream, your work, whatever you're doing, is what has to drive you as a person to like, reach what you want in life. It's wellness, whatever, money, whatever you're pursuing. That's part of it. Is failing and just keep going.
That's good. Good. Does anybody else want to share relating to this? No, it pretty much sums it up. Yeah, well, I wanted to share this because I thought that it was the importance of always trying something new and not being afraid to fall, because when you do fall and mess up, that's how you become a better person. And a lot of people don't want to get to that point because of the falling part. But if you never get to that point, like how Mandela said, you'll never know how to get better and you'll always become stagnant. And so Nelson Mandela said that, and he did some pretty remarkable things in his career. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys, a quote of inspiration. So hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you. Thank you. So that was the quote of the week. Next order of business is the guest speaker, Gino. And we thank you for inviting him, and I'll give you the floor.
Thank you, Ariel. I appreciate it.
No problem.
I appreciate it. Hey, guys, my name is Gino Herring. I am a startup business owner by the name of Best Candidate. I'm the CEO and founder of that. And I'm here today to talk to you about voter education on a nonpartisan, non-biased basis. And so a little bit about myself first before I get started, but thank you all for having me here today. First, Ariel. About myself, I have a degree from University of Connecticut. Final four, thank you very much. In sociology, I taught high school at Ely High School for 3 years. And most recently, I have a tenure of almost 20 years as the voter education director from Broward County Supervisor of Elections Office. And so for 20 years, my job was to educate 1.2 million people in Broward County on the process of voting. And as you can imagine, that's a tall task, because I only have a staff of 4 people. How do you educate 1.2 million people with a staff of 4? And so that specifically got me interested in becoming an entrepreneur, and I'll get to that a little bit later. But so my background is in education and sociology and social justice and social aspects of societies. And I was always in the education field because my parents have always taught. I grew up around teachers, my aunts, uncles, all in teachers. Everybody's a teacher in my family. I said I would never teach. But guess what? Out of college, I taught. So education is a part of my soul. It's in my blood. It just so happened that voter education became my passion. And I say that because in the 20 years that I've actually been a part of that process, I've experienced some great things, some awesome things. And I've experienced some pretty bad things, pretty awful things. One of the positive things that I've experienced, I don't know if you've ever been to a naturalization ceremony where people become naturalized and citizens of the United States. That is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. My mom came to this country when she came to, as a student to Florida Memorial College when she was 17. She was naturalized when she finished school, and told me about that when I was little, about that process. And you're 7 or 8 years old, you're not thinking too much of that. But fast forward to 32, and you actually get asked to go and public speak in an audience of 1,000 people, half of which are becoming citizens of the United States. And before that, you get to hear their stories and what they went through to become a citizen. It changes you. It changed me. And so because of that, that's my why. People ask you, why do you things? That's pretty much my why.
because I see that we have 3 colors in the flag. We have people from everywhere here, and we have one common goal, one common bond, one common reason for being here, and that's that we're all human beings. We cannot separate that, no matter what color we are, no matter what our boundaries are, where we came from, we're all human beings. And voter education has to do with that very thought of giving everybody a voice. It was my job to do that the best I could. And so the reason why I'm here today is because I started my own company called Best Candidate. And Best Candidate is a nonpartisan voter education mobile application. And that application specifically is created to give people better information and create better candidates. We all want that, no matter what. We could always do better. Information is just tainted. It's just all over the place. It's hard to find good information. That's why I'm doing this. And so kind of going back a little bit, I just jumped forward, but I want to go back a little bit really quickly. When I talked about I've seen both good and bad in the elections, I'll start with the bad part. The bad part is when you see a mother trying to get to a polling place on election day by 7 o'clock, because the polls end at 7 o'clock, and her kids are in tow with her, 3 of them, and she gets there at 7:01. And she promised her newly naturalized mother that just came from Haiti that she would vote this year in honor of her. And she misses that deadline. And I have to tell her that, unfortunately, ma'am, you cannot vote. And she leaves crying. Her kids are wondering why she's crying. But that story has 2 sides to it now, because now she's got 3 kids looking up to her, asking why she's crying at a voter poll at the election site. They'll remember that for the rest of their lives, and she will too. And so it's the education part that I took from that. I said, you know what? My mom brought me to the polls too when I was little. So I always remember being there saying, hey, Mom, what's this? What is that? Well, this is a polling booth. We grew up, we see, fire hydrants. We see, well, telephone booths aren't there no more, so sorry for that. But I saw them, mailboxes on the side of the road. I saw that. Those are things in our neighborhood that we see. But we're not raised seeing voting booths, although the voting process is the foundation for our democracy. So to prioritize that, to me, just seems like it's common thought, but it's irrelevant if it's not happening. So me becoming an entrepreneur, I realized that 4 people can only affect so much change in a community, 1.2 million. We had folks that loved what we were doing. We actually reached out to a lot of folks. In my 20 years, my team and I registered over 150,000 students. 16 years old, you can pre-register to vote. 18, you actually vote. We were proud of that. But by the same token, a lot of private schools, a lot of other schools that weren't a part of what we're doing didn't get that chance. Well, how do you get everybody involved? What's the best way? So I guess the entrepreneurial part about this is me saying, you know what, if unfunded mandates come down from the government, and what that means is you have a duty and responsibility to do this because it's bestowed upon you by us, the government. So you have to educate 1.2 million people. But if we don't give you the resources to do that, who suffers? Does Gino Herring suffer? Emotionally, probably. But the people that don't get that information are the ones that do. And I saw myself taking that personally every single year that I was in that office, trying to figure out a better way to reach everybody. How do I get to 1.2 million people? How do I let them know that, look, tell your supervisor you're allowed to take some time off during the daytime to vote. Allow your children to get picked up an hour early so you can get to that polling place. Tell your family, let's make a plan so we can actually get that voter ballot back in the mail. But don't wait till too long because it takes a long time to deliver. If they get that ballot after 7 p.m. election day, the next day, say, for instance, it won't count. Doesn't matter when it was postmarked. So that's the education. That's the stuff that needs to filter down from the law books in DC and Tallahassee to the people that live everywhere in the communities. Furthermore, We are taught that elections only take place how many times? Every 4 years, right? That's all we know about. In essence, Miami-Dade just had an election last week. We have them all the time. Local elections are the most important elections because those are the ones that affect you in your backyard. The president's every 4 years, governor every 4 years. Every single week, every single day, every single sometime in the state of Florida, there's an election somewhere, 67 counties, they're all the time. We don't know that because it's not a priority. To the people with this, sometimes it's not a priority. To the people that don't want you to vote, it's not a priority. But it is, and it should be, and it needs to be. Hence, my mission as an entrepreneur. And so I'm here today by the invitation from Ariel, so thank you so much, to talk a little bit more about what I do when I do go out and talk to large crowds of people. I've talked to crowds of 1,000, all the way down to groups like this, 10 or 15 sometimes, even 10 or 5. I do an activity.
Enter your
And so
meeting
this is
ID,
crowd
followed
participation.
by
So
pound.
I need to get, let's see, I have 5, 6, 7, 8. I need to have one person not participate. I need an odd number. Anybody know why? Either present, give me the odd number. Anybody know why I need an odd number?
Your participant ID, followed by pound. Otherwise, just
We're gonna
press
vote, so the
pound.
majority needs to rule that outcome, okay? So first and foremost, I brought some things for you. I told you I'd come bearing gifts.
In the meeting,
I didn't know how many people would be here, so I brought 2 whole things of blow pops. We're gonna vote. This is gonna be the one of the things you vote on. So you know what this, anyone not have a blow pop ever before, ever in their lives? Thank goodness, really? Well, today's election day. You get a blow pop. All right, but aside from that, I have 2 things. I have what's in this box, and I have this. 2 separate things. I promise you what's in here is not in here. However, it's not Bed Bath & Beyond stuff, I promise you. It's not bath salts and soaps and perfumes and stuff, not that. But it might be movie tickets. It might be, I was at Texas Roadhouse the other day and I got all kinds of gift cards. I might have put them in here. I might even have some tickets to, I heard Jay-Z's coming. But you don't know what's in this. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it that way. But you're gonna vote. So not to take up too much of you guys' time, let's vote. By show of hands, and not the president, by show of hands, who wants the blow pops? Raise your hands. You don't get a chance. So that's 0 votes. So you have to take that tally, Mr. President. You're my proctor. Yep, 0 tally. Who wants what's in this? Everybody in here, for the record, said they are voting for something they have absolutely no idea about. You don't know what, I could have leftover dinner from last night in here, sitting in my car all night. But you unanimously just voted for us in the box. So you know what? You are, hi, how you doing? You didn't get a chance to vote, but you get this anyways. Dum dum. That's a dum dum.
Are you calling us down?
No, no, absolutely not. However, this young lady just came in and you, Ms. President, you're the only 2 that did not vote, right? But guess what? You all still get this. Why? Because everybody voted for it, regardless if you voted or not. Exactly. I was hoping you didn't want it. I was hoping. Anybody else not want the dum dum? Good. Good. Well, you know what? You're still gonna get it. So really quickly, does anybody get my point?
Yeah.
What is it? Give me an example. What am I talking about right now?
You can be informed about what you're going
Because really, I could have had a golden ticket in here like Willy Wonka or something. But did I? No. I had something that I knew, well, I like them, but they're called dum-dums. I did this very same thing in an elementary school, I think about 2009 or 10. And I had this and I had Smarties instead of the flip-flops. And the dum-dums won again. And I said to one child, he said, "I'm not a dum-dum." And I said, "Absolutely not. That wasn't the point." Started crying. I said, "Oh my God." Never gonna get brought back here ever. But they consoled him, they got him right. But when I said, "You're gonna get this too, don't worry, don't worry," it was a reality check for 8-year-old kids. And I go into the next part about that, which is the 2 people that did not get to vote happens every day. It's just a little bit different. I would say more like you 3 would vote and these folks wouldn't. That is the percentage. That's the percentage of folks that actually vote versus don't. And guess what? You all vote and everyone else has to get what you voted on. Let's say you 2 voted on the dum-dums and you didn't, you wanted the blow pops. Do I still get a blow pop? No. You all 3 get dum-dums and guess what? Everyone else does too. Just imagine if it was peanuts and you're allergic to them. You have to eat it. What happens to you? Probably. That's what I'm trying to get as far as a metaphor, as far as just relating things to objects that are not harmful. But most importantly, voting can be harmful. As a matter of fact, my latest quote, apathy can be terminal. And I call it that to get the interest and get the knee-jarring information across, because people not showing up are actually allowing other folks to have their say. And it happens every time. So thank you for doing that really quickly. I need you to pass these out if you can, because you want the donuts. I have these 2, or I can just leave them for later on. Doesn't matter either way. We run out of time. Okay. Yeah, dum-dums and blow pots. Thank you, Mr. President. So to kind of wrap up a little bit, let me get the gentleman in the back to give me some detail. What if you actually wanted these blow pops? What would you do beforehand if you knew this election was taking place today?
Fortify the election, bro.
What was that?
Fortify the election, bro.
Fortify the election. What does that mean?
Everyone needs to know.
What would you do? What did you?
Okay, seriously, you could go campaigning, try to persuade people.
Exactly. So I would actually have 4-year-olds say that. I would actually have adults say that in the room, and that's absolutely right, because that's a natural part of the process, is to get folks to get along the side of you with what your beliefs are, what your thoughts are, what your process should be. And without that, we have individuals. So remember that as well. Last part about this probably should be what you would do next after that. What you would do if something is given to you that you don't want to take. And I guess that's kind of specific to individuals, but most importantly, you're subjected to it. And that's the everlasting thought. You're subjected to what the majority actually ends up giving you. And so many times, more often than not, the majority is a minority of the eligible electorate. And that means if I have 100 people eligible to vote, usually 20 people show up. And those 20 determine what the collective 100 do. That's the point. They say I have a real estate license and an insurance license. And so I'm business minded, business savvy. What I want to say right now has to do with the way businesses create, we call capital, revenue. They rely on the collective, which means if you don't want to buy my blow pop tomorrow, I don't really care too much. But if all of you said you're not buying the blow pops, that's going to affect me. Elections are the only thing that prevail in that scenario. By that, I mean, collectively, yeah, you matter, but you matter more as an individual. Here's why. If I have a vote and I have 10 people in a room voting, and I have a brand new car out there for every single one of y'all, if 9 say, you know what, I'm not showing up, but 1 votes and 1 gets the car, the 9 say I want a car, but they didn't show up. I've had elections in Broward, they've happened in the state of Florida, also all over the country, that are decided by 2 or fewer votes. 2, just recently in Broward, 12. That means 12 people could have affected the outcome of an election. That's kind of close when you have millions of people showing up or hundreds of thousands of people showing up for an election. So if you ever think that your vote doesn't count, talk to those candidates. Talk to those folks that say, you know what, now I have to have a leash on my dog when I'm in my own house, because that's what was voted on. Or, you know what, I surf in Deerfield, I can't serve after 6 o'clock PM. Lights on or off, sundown or up, doesn't matter. They said I can't vote, I can't serve anymore. Those are the kinds of things that you're subjected to when you don't put your vote out there. So ultimately, at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you know the real factual information and the process. The process is always nonpartisan, non-biased. Your information should be too. So hence to the end of my discussion here, any questions about that little scenario I just ran to you, because it's kind of thorough? Yes.
You said you had an app?
Yes.
An app you know?
Yes. So I am an entrepreneur. I am a fellow at FAU. I guess it's a fellow. We're called entrepreneurs in the program of Tech Runway. But my business is called Best Candidate. It's a nonpartisan voter education toolbox. We are trying, our goal specifically is to make better candidates and get better information to people. When I say better, I don't mean that some candidates just are terrible. I mean that everyone can improve. And we all want that. We all want to be able to walk out of the polling place and say, you know, I feel confident about the selection and choice I just made, because I knew about that person before I went in there. How often can we say that? Anyone ever buy a car or a house or put money down on something big? Anything big you bought recently? Maybe it's a diamond ring for your girlfriend. I don't know. What'd you buy?
A phone.
A phone? Would you just go into the place and just buy it?
Yeah, I mean, I had to buy it in such a short amount of time and I didn't research it before.
Okay, that's my point. You proved my point. So
Yeah.
thank you. So you don't know the features of it, how it's going to react in the sun or whatever. You kind of did an impulse purchase. That should never happen in the elections process, although it happens 9 times out of 10 because information simply is not there. We're creating that. Yes, ma'am.
How can you find that out?
So right now, bestcandidate.net is our website. It's probably down right now because we're upgrading all of our logos and things. But if you can, I'd like you to still go there, or you can scan my barcode, QR code, quick response code, I'm calling it now, to go to my site and pre-register, pre-subscribe to the app, because it's created in creation right now. We've got it designed out, but the actual design will be complete hopefully by late fall. And so bestcandidate.net. Also, what's important to know is that we are right now looking for ambassadors from each college in the state and then in the country. So we're looking for 2 ambassadors per school. And those 2 ambassadors will be the ambassadors for that school and carry the message to other schools and the information. Most importantly, they will be the people that champion this effort. And when I say that I am a proponent of South Florida. I was born and raised here. If I want democracy 2.0 to happen, regardless of what that means later on, I want it to be right here. I want it to be right here in South Florida. And I would love this is probably the most important thing about it, is that I was born and raised in Broward County schools. My mom brought me to school with her on teacher planning days. I was in the back. I was, when she was at Broward College, I was there too. Aunts, uncles, all teachers. And so I want to be able to look back and say, you know what, we changed things for the better, and we did them right here. And I want students to be able to have that. I want students to be able to know and say that, you know what, we're the ones that usually aren't at the table in discussions about us. It's time to change that. I had what was called a neighborhood partnership committee in Broward County. And the first thing we did was get people from everywhere. It doesn't matter who you are, rep, dem, doctor, lawyer, teacher, nurse, whatever. You came to the table, we talked about nonpartisan education for voters. About 2 years into it, 3 years into it, I said, you know what, something's missing. We're talking about kids, we're talking about students, yet they're not here. If we're having a discussion about students, they need to be at the table. So we brought a student in. Every year we had a student from that point on. That's why I see that worked so much, because they brought that back to their old classes and to the schools on what we're doing. We then had a voter registration drive at all the high schools in the whole Broward County, which is great. So they knew about that and it worked. I think the same thing can start right here in South Florida, push our way north to the rest of the country, and then globally. Because voter education is nonpartisan, it should be at all times. Yes, ma'am.
Well, how are you getting your information?
Information, good point. So this is the old logo. It's a t-shirt, you can see the shield there. I've got DC for best candidate, and you notice on top there's 3 stars. Okay, so In our government, how many checks and balances do we have?
Three.
What are the titles? What are they labeled? What do they call them? Legislative, judicial, and what's the other one? Executive, 3, right? Checks and balances, tripod. 3 stars. You got motivation, education, and participation. Without those 3, people don't show up. You gotta get motivated, but what motivates us? The issues, the candidates. How do you know they're the right ones for you? The education. What's the last step? You gotta participate. And so that's our 3 real, I guess that's our balance. But in that process, how do we get the information? Fact checks, and then fact check again, and then one more time. First and foremost is getting the information from people out there that are doing it already. There's websites and people that are fact checking. We want to collaborate with them. Second thing is we have an oath of ethics signed by the candidates. When they put their profile up, there's a profile-based app. Candidates make a profile, and they have an option now to sign that oath of ethics. And if they do that, we're creating a foundation that candidates will do the right thing. They will say the right thing, and they continue to benefit the actual cause they're supporting. The last thing is you all, the crowd. The crowd gets to source what the candidates do and say. So that's 3 different checks and balances. The fact checkers that are doing it right now, the real deal. The oath of ethics saying that, you know what, I as a candidate, I attest that I'm gonna do the right thing. Last step is you all, crowdsourcing. Let's just say I just told you I went to UConn and I want to be a candidate. That's on my profile. What if I lied? Is that good? Would you believe me and trust me after I did that and said lied to you? So in the meantime, you all will get to say that on their profile. So that's 3 different ways the information is checked and balanced. Yes, ma'am.
And how do you check after the comment, like, it's like, how do you control that it's not some type of like Twitter feed or like something like Instagram where it's like, oh, just,
Right, so anyone can comment, but there's also it's gonna be a safe space. So you can create a handle for yourself. You don't have to put your first and last name. You can create a handle. So you won't have an identity, so to speak, if you don't want to. You can have just a random say. But how do I check the facts? If someone says something, first of all, they sign an oath saying that they're going to say the right things and then factual stuff. So if they don't, then that's a strike for them. And we have a 3-strike system. We don't just push them out altogether, ban them from Twitter for the rest of their lives. But if we start off saying that we're going to do the right thing, the hope and the goal is to make sure it happens. And that's for everybody that goes there. You know, you want to check out what a rep says or what a dem says or what I want to say, whatever. You now have a safe space to go. That's what we're creating. And so you have an opportunity to push that out to make sure people know, look, if you want to know what the definition of absentee ballot is, here's your dictionary, your glossary. If you want a file cabinet to store some documents in it, it's on there for you. If you want to know where a candidate's going to be, guess what? Their calendar's right there. You can go check out where they're going to be. By the way, they have a live podcast on their app as well. They also have all kinds of feeds of things they're going to do, their rallies, things like that, all right there in the app. As voters, free profile, you can do surveys. You can also do petitions. So if I want to petition keeping the campus open 24 hours a day, because I want to use the library, push that petition out there. The more people sign it, guess what? Is that powerful? It's pretty powerful. If 5 of y'all sign it, no. But if 10,000 of y'all say on campus, look, we want the library open 24 hours a day, is it now more possible? Yeah. Because that's where the crowd comes in. So if you also want a local candidate to be on that petition, you could nudge that candidate. Hey, we at Palm Beach State, we want to keep the library open. Push it over to the candidate. Please sign our petition or sponsor it in your current endeavors. Those are the types of things that this is going to create. But most importantly, remember, it's a private space for voters to come and get the factual information. It's also a space for candidates to push out their profiles inexpensively and hopefully ethically. Okay. All right, I appreciate you guys. And any questions you have before I go? I took a lot of your time up. Hopefully it was fruitful for you. Any questions at all you have about me or the app specifically?
I do have a question.
Yep.
So as your business model, it's gonna, like, your traffic is gonna come, most of it's gonna come every 4 years, because it's the most biggest election. I know we have different elections and the elections are continuous. But obviously your traffic into your website is gonna be bigger when it's a presidential election. Which is, like, probably like midterm elections and stuff like that, they're like bigger than some little election in a county or somewhere else. How do you, what do you think about? Like, what I'm trying to ask you is, if your traffic, your big traffic, it's gonna come once every 4 years, or once every 2 years. How do you, as a business model, plan to, like, keep the app going and the motivation going, where you don't get that much response in the meantime?
2 words: affect change. It's only every 4 years because that's all we think it is. There's elections all the time. And the more we make that available to you all, the more we make that accessible to you all, the more you'll hopefully be educated about it. And the last star was what? Participate. There's conversations that usually go on about elections, and that's how we know about them. But we only know about them where? On TV. We only know them because we see the signs sometimes all over the yard when they're coming. That's how we know. Or sometimes, you know what, it might be on the radio when we're driving to work or school in the morning. That's all how we know. But where's the other vehicle? Where's the other vehicle for the stuff that happens on Tuesday next month? It's not. It's the cars in the garage with no tires on it. So we want to be that car that drives every single day. If information is coming at you all the time and the right stuff, the right information, the factual stuff, guess what? Now you can be a part of that. But if people want you to vote every 4 years, it's all you're going to be able to do, because you don't know about the election that was happening in March of last month. There was an election right here in March. You know how much percent turned out in that election? Less than 10. There's 1 million people in Palm Beach County. Less than 10% showed up. So whatever laws were out there, whatever changed, 90% of people have no say in that. They just got to do what them 10 people said. That's it. And that's what I mean. It's the energy, it's the election conversation that's going to propel the information getting the right hands. If that happens, guess what? Now the people that are here in Boca, sitting on the dais, now the people that are in Tallahassee, the people in DC, those folks will know the information is getting out there now. But not just sitting, waiting for, at 10 o'clock news, hey, we had an election yesterday. Did I tell you about that? I forgot, sorry. So no more. My intention is to get the information all the time, consistently. And whatever issues you have as people living here, you now can put them in that application and have other people access it. That's the goal. That's a great question, by the way. That's called monetization. And so how do you monetize? How do you keep the capital flowing? You've got to come away with some kind of way to get people on there every single day. And that's my goal. Yes.
What's like your market though? What was this like for, like, if you think we'll use the app, like what age range and like what countries and or like states, like is this only for the United States, and like also if you're like hoping in other regions and other countries?
Oh yeah. Yeah, great question. Great question. Very specifically, when you start a company, you want to start small. You want to start with an addressable market that you can reach and see and feel. And that for me is South Florida. So we're starting it right here in South Florida. I call it South Florida because Palm Beach County, Broward County, and Miami-Dade County are relatively close in proximity, but also pretty much the same as far as what we offer, the resources and things. And so that's where we're starting. Yes, it will be statewide, 67 counties in the state of Florida. And yes, it will be nationwide after that. 146 counties in the country contain half the population of the United States of America. All 146 of those counties have colleges and universities. And that's where we'll start. There are some very big multi-billion-dollar companies out there that started with college students. But in my opinion, this is a whole lot more important than looking at the birthday cake or looking at your dog crawling around the floor or chasing the duck in the water. This is elections information. This is stuff that has to do with everybody in this room and outside. So to me, I have a vehicle that I like to drive every day, not just every 4 years. And if people want the information and have no place to go get it, this is for them. But it's also for the folks that, you know what, they see the value in it. So great question. Any more questions? Some really good questions. I appreciate it. All right.
All right.
Thank you very much, y'all. I appreciate you. I have t-shirts, not a whole lot, but I got some, I didn't know how many people are gonna be here, but I got a few. This one here,
You have some T-shirts to pass out?
yeah,
Okay, calm,
You
calm.
come and vote.
on the back. That's
Classic.
it. Yeah, so that's why I have these two, so I'll just leave them here for y'all.
Thank you.
I'll take my bag. You're welcome, thank you.
Thank
And
you very
again,
much.
investigator.net, the site will be back up tomorrow. We change our logo to red, white, and blue, not just red and white, as well as, I'm sorry,
Sorry, I didn't even know.
no, no, you're good.
When will the app be available?
The app right now, we're in creation of the back end, which means for tech folks, the front end design is all designed out, but the software is being attached to it now. So we're trying to make sure that that's seamless. And so my user experience officer, he is in charge of taking whoever's gonna design it, and making sure that when you get on there as a user, that it works right.
Yeah.
And what you want to get out of it, you can get out of it. That takes some time. So hopefully we'll be able to beta test in the fall. And you all, I want to be able to test that thing. Because you all are students and you all are the ones that will champion this, I promise you. Okay? All right.
Welcome. Thank
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Ariel.
Gino. Really appreciate that
Thank you. Thank you.
valuable information. We appreciate your app, and above all, we appreciate your blow pops.
Go on the site and pre-subscribe, because that's how you can get the notice when it's ready. We push out to you notified. Let's get it on there.
Thank you.
Can I ask your name?
Gino Herring. That's herring like a fish. Gino Italian. Pizza with anchovies. Thank you, y'all. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
Got the flip pops and there's the dum-dums. Okay.
Yeah, we'll take care of the dum-dums.
All right, guys.
And the blow pops.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Well, email me that information about the other candidate.
I will. Oh, I'll put you in the email thread.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right then, no problem. Thank you. All right then, thank you, everybody. Moving on really quick to just the highlights. Old business mini club rush, that was today. Thank you all for coming, anybody who came. Tomas did a great job touring everybody, as well as Deborah for watching the table and everything and having class during as well. And anybody else who participated, I know Liana participated in PTK or empowering women. That was good. Great job. Thank you. As well, these two gentlemen, I think you were part of the tour group as well. So thank you very much. That was a really successful event for high schoolers, and hopefully we get more engagement for this following year. Moving on to new business. Huh? Who? Which Ariel?
I don't see it, but he did a lot of good stuff in the background.
I try. You know, I act like I know what I'm doing, but I'm winging it half the time. Fake it until you make it, right? So, all right. So moving on to new business, really quick, some announcements, upcoming events that we have. This is a pretty big one. We're gonna have a meet and greet with President Parker on April 13th in CBP 103 from 12 to 1:30. And our wonderful Vice President himself is going to be interviewing President Parker and put a lot of work into that. And so that's really important to come. Obviously, that's going to be a big deal. Putting that.
President's gonna be here, so we need to be here.
Yeah,
We need to.
if you guys can dress formally, at least casual formal, you know, that would,
Class. This.
yeah, forget it. Tell your professor, you got stuff
Tell
to
the
do.
professor you're meeting the president of the college,
Yeah,
like literally,
Oh,
like, yes, exactly.
like, yes, that's happening. Exactly. So if you guys are able to come. And the provost, yes. So if you guys are able to come to that, hopefully you guys can make it to that. That's gonna be happening this Thursday, next Thursday, exactly a week from now, from 12 to 1:30 in room CVP 103. So keep an eye out on that. The next order of business is field day. So we are collaborating with CAB, college activity board. And the event itself is starting at 2. However, if we want to participate and help them out in setting up, they said to meet us at the SAC at 1.
The 19th is a what?
19th is that, I think that is a Wednesday. Yeah,
Okay.
so the 19th, that's a Wednesday. And so she said
whoever can help out with setup, just meet at the student activity, at the SAC, Student Activity Center at 1 p.m. So anybody, I attached certain people in the email chat. I don't know if you guys got it or not, or if you're able to look at it. But those are the people that wanted to really were mostly interested in this event. And you guys will get credit for this. So if you guys are available during that time, please come by at 1 o'clock at the SAC on Wednesday to help set up with the field day event. We're going to be having that. And then last but not least, the last event that I want to announce is the Volunteer Week. So this is a collaboration with the other SGA, SGAs on the other campuses, and each one of these days is associated with a campus. So as you can see, there's one in Lake Worth, there's one in West Palm Beach, which is, I think, is supposed to be towards Palm Beach Gardens. There's one in Belle Glade. There's one in Okeechobee, Loxahatchee, which is the Loxahatchee campus, and then the South Inlet Park, that's Boca Raton. Right. So each one of the SGAs, it's located in their local area, so the SGAs can come and volunteer in these events. So for us, it's the very first one, and it's this event, and it's a food bank. It's not that far from here, and I'm going to be showing up and helping them out. If anybody else can volunteer for this, please do. Please come by. If anybody is interested, come see me afterwards, and I'll have you sign up for this. But this is also a volunteer event that we're having in collaboration with the other SGAs of other different campuses. Does anybody have any questions with these events? No, we're all good. All right, then, sounds good. So then those are the upcoming events that we have. Hopefully you guys can make it to at least one or all of them. Next order of business usually we have is open forum. Does anybody who would like to share anything random? Well, there's open forum, like to say a joke, maybe tell us a story about something that you did over the weekend, something funny that happened. No, you guys are all good. All right, crickets, sounds good. All right, next order.
Say something.
All right, Vice President.
So yesterday, I had to do a very big project, right? It was like 10. Now I'm just gonna get ready to do it. So I drank a Monster to be able to not sleep,
At what time?
like at 10.
Oh my gosh.
So then I log into my computer, right? I'm just going through my emails and I find my inbox like in the professor's sent, like at 9:55. No worries, guys. The homework is gonna be due on the weekend.
So
I
what,
had just drank the Monster.
so what did you do?
So I just went to try to sleep, but I couldn't. So I was like 2 in the morning and I was supposed to wake up at 5 so I could be here at 7. And I was like this, I was shaking. So sorry. I just wanted to share that. So please check your email before taking Monsters.
Wow. Yeah, check your emails before you turn in your work. Valuable lesson.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
So,
Would you like to share anything, Deborah? No? You just wanted to walk up here?
Thank you guys for coming. I thought the speaker was pretty cool. Definitely it's important to get educated about voting, and yeah, that's it. That's what I have to say. Are my lips like blue?
Not too much, not from here.
Okay, that's all the honest one. I'm like, do I look like?
This looks like your nerves are showing or something.
No, she's just laughing at you. You just look funny, so she just. I'm just kidding. All right. So
Are you guys all like alone for the volunteers or like, are we all meeting up or something beforehand?
what?
Oh, okay.
I was just gonna show up there.
Oh, okay.
I was just gonna really show up there.
I can't go.
Okay, I was wondering if we were all gonna meet and then we're all gonna go on our cars.
No, but we can do that. If you don't have a ride.
Oh, no, I do.
If you
Actually,
do.
I don't know if I actually just that, because I have my car, so never mind.
You want to offer somebody a ride? Is that what you're doing? All right, well, if nobody has a,
That's a good question.
that's a good question. If nobody has a car, ask Efrain, she'll take you there.
Can I just go in your car here?
Yeah, I think I need to.
Yeah. Totally no. Yeah, share your information. You guys want to carpool or not? And carpool with me or you carpool with the girls? You know, whichever one. Obviously, you want to carpool with me. I'm cooler, right?
I would come over with you if I was going.
Okay, thank you. That means a lot to me.
All right, guys.
All right, last one will be Cummins advisor, which is just advisor's comment, which is just me. Thank you all for coming. Really appreciate it. And that being said, I adjourn this meeting at 3:01. Woo! Thank you all for coming. Huh?
Which volunteer week, which like hours are you? The first one or the second?
Yeah, it's just the first one. And
And then maybe I'll do the second session so we can spread it out a little bit.
okay,
Yeah.
you want to take a picture of the,
I did, actually. I
Okay.
did, but
yeah, I was just gonna show up there on that date. Whatever it was. I'll go there in the morning from 9 to 12.
No,
I might stay there the whole day.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Man, depends on when flights you leave me.
Might get tired. Oh, yeah, they're not. Yeah.
Okay, she's taking it over from here. If you have any questions, just ask her.
Oh, you.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Efrain, for coming. Thank you.
Alright, nice to you.
Good seeing you too. Take care. Thank you. And for coming. No problem.
See you.
Thank you for coming.
Oh.
Good, bro. Taking
some lollipop.
Thank you. No,
You gotta get what you,
no, you didn't see anything.
you gotta get what you can get.
No, you didn't actually. Oh, that's, yeah.
You want a
That's-
t-shirt
that's-
too?
That's very, you know what, we'll come
Get a
pick it even. My water bottle, you wanna give it a different? But.
Hey, y'all wanna-
Put this behind us.
$5.
Yeah, here, we'll.
You want a
put it behind
t-shirt?
us.
$5.
Oh, you're funny. It was nice to see you guys again.
All right, maybe I'll be at the next one. We'll see how it goes.
Careful.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're.
You need a small. Here,
I'll
go.
grab it.
You have extra large for the mar?
You go first.
Three.
I'll go with her. Enough.
Here, take this.
Nice. I wasn't laughing.
She was laughing with you, not at you. She was laughing at you, man. No, wait, wrong one. Wrong one.
She's laughing at you, not with you.
Wrong one.
Ariel, you look good on that.
I do?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. They don't have a medium. That's the smallest they had.
Who's bringing the?
So bad.
But it's a large.
How many is it, bro?
No.
It's a large.
You shouldn't feel good way.
We can all be some stuff like.
Oh my God. Oh. Thanks. I have so many shirts. I really like keep coming down.
Oh, like calculus, isn't it, bro?
I just take this. Why don't you just take it?
Yeah, just take it. You could drop it off in the office or you just take it home.
Do you need any help?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Thank you
doing
so
well.
much, Ariel.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Tomas, for coming.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye. Take care. Bye.
Good weekend. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Take care. Bye. 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 Meeting's over. Take care.